So welcome to week 6 in how to create your character. And this week we're going to be looking at the difference between the actor, which is you as a soul, and the character that you create. And we see this most prevalently in actions. So let's take a quick update on where we are. The first 3 weeks we talked about why bother doing this? Because you want to be unique, you want to have a unique team, and you want to pursue a unique purpose. But to do all that, you need the character. So the last 3 weeks we've been building the character, starting in the mind, creating the mental picture, outlined in light on dark paper, and then coloring it in with 3 emotions, 3 colors that symbolize those emotions that power your abilities. And this week we're going to be looking at action. What are the action-oriented abilities that your character is going to be performing? And then the next 3 weeks will be about your story, followed by your lesson, and all wrapping up with what this is for. So when we look at this picture here, we see a simple example of how the actor on the right is not the character which is on the left. There's a distinct difference. However, there are similarities. So when you create your character, you want to follow this simple template. When you create a character, it's natural. It's an exaggeration, but it's not a lie either. It's a totally different realm. Wreck-It Ralph was in a realm, in a world that doesn't make sense in the rest of the world. So you get to play with things with the development of your character. So you as a soul, on the right, the actor, don't live in the same world as your character, which is played by your mind, heart, and body. So you need to know how to act out. We all want to act out. How do we do this? How do we take what we have inside of us, that unique realm of potential that is the soul, and bring it out in a way that's exciting? It's going to change the world around us. The first step is understanding the difference between the actor, the character, and the roles you play. You as a soul are the actor. The character is the alias and the abilities and the attitude all put together, and the clothing and the things you say and the things you feel and the things you think. That's all wrapped up in the character. And then the role, you can be a friend, you can be a hero, you can be a villain, you can be a brother, you can be a sister, you can be a husband or a wife. You can play all these roles. But you don't want to be a different person in each one of those roles. That's weird. You want to be the same character, but you don't want to be your character either. You want to know that you're someone greater. You're the creator of all this, of all the roles that you play and the character that you are. You're behind the scenes. You're the wizard, the soul. So to put that into our picture that we've been working on, in the spiritual world, God, He's the ultimate director of life, the whole universe. And you get to hang out with Him. And when you hang out with Him and learn about this massive show that He's doing that spans the whole universe, you start developing an idea for a cool character. The character is what you give to your mind, heart, and body. They figure out and they help you create the thoughts for that character, the emotions for that character, and the actions for that character. And then they figure out how to bring it out into the world in a way that makes sense. To play all those different roles that you have in your life, you can be a student, you can be a teacher, you can be a kid, you can be an adult, you can be all these different roles, but you need a character to link it all together. And your mind, heart, and body figure out how to do that. So that brings us back to how to act out. When you have your character, which you do now, you have a mental picture of it, outlined in light. You have some color infused with the emotions that are going to power your abilities, but you also need a name, an alias that you're going to tell people, this is who I am. This name summarizes me, and you have to create that name. We're given a name at birth, but that's a lesson to teach us how to name and the importance of name. The real value in that lesson is you getting ready to name your character. So when you look at young people, they wear the costumes of their favorite superhero. But this is inherently flawed. It's good to do this, it's fun, but this isn't character creation, because the character creation comes from inside of you. You don't wear a costume of another character. That's replication. You need to create your own character from the inside out. So you end up clothing yourself in a costume that you've created in your mind, heart, and body. It's your own unique expression. And that's how you display your alias, that total package of the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. You want to package all that in a name that says, this is who I am. Is that actually who you are? No. That's your character. But if you're going to play in the show, which is this world, you need a cool alias. One that people are going to remember and that summarizes your abilities. So you got the name, you also need the abilities to back up that name, which you've already worked on, but we want to expand that now. Now some people, they try to synthesize, these are the only superhero abilities out there. That's a mistake. Because again, the thing we value in a team is having unique individuals. When everybody's unique in their abilities, you can help each other out. And you get your moment on stage, and then someone else can step up when there's another challenge and they have the unique abilities for. So you don't want to use other created abilities, you want to create your own. For example, if you said, I want to be like Superman, that's great, but Superman's really good at being Superman. So if they have a choice between calling you and Superman, who are they going to call? Well, obviously they're going to call Superman if they need Superman abilities. So you need to create your own abilities so that when those abilities are needed and people know them, they know that what you can do, they're going to call you because you have those unique abilities. You need to create and design your character from head to toe, clothing to body, to heart, to mind, everything about you. And again, this is such a big project. It's going to take a long time, but that's the fun part about being human. You're always going to be improving your character. More potent thoughts, more vibrant emotions, more powerful actions. You'll just keep expanding those abilities as you go along, taking from what you get from God, making a character mentally, emotionally, and physically, and then playing the roles that you have in the world around you. But all those roles serve your character and developing your character and showing the world who you really are. Because you've got a name, an alias, and you got awesome abilities. But even if you have this, you have the alias, you have the abilities, people are knowing who you are, you still need the attitude. You gotta have that attitude. The attitude first that makes you memorable, and it also has to work. It's got to work with your name, it's got to work with your abilities, and help people remember who you are. So you can be that confident attitude, or the calm and cool, walking away from danger like it's no big deal, or the introspective attitude. You can create whatever attitude you want, but you want it to be memorable. You want it to be exciting or interesting or curious or fascinating, and it's got to work with your name and it's got to work with your abilities. But you got to have that attitude, some kind of attitude to spice it up that works with everything else. And why would you want that attitude? Because you perform your abilities with attitude so everyone remembers who to call. So we need a project now to solidify these ideas for week 6. Now you've got your character outlined in light, shaped in your mind, and you put some emotion to it with 3 colors that power your 3 abilities. Now you need to name your character, a name that summarizes the way you would think, feel, and act as this character. Then you need to name your 3 abilities. Remember, you don't want to use other people's abilities, other characters' abilities, because they're always going to be better. It was their ability first. So you need to rename it and tweak it a little bit. You'll notice as soon as you name it, it starts taking on a different nature, one that's connected to you. And finally, you want to draw 3 pictures that show your character with your name using each of these 3 awesome abilities. Show the effect of these abilities. Remember, this is action. You're going to do something as this character. You want to see what's the effect of that. How is that going to change my world? How's that going to change people? How's that going to change the events that are transpiring around me? Show your character using your abilities and changing the world for each of your 3 abilities.